I guess,
Yep.
over the last week. And, we didn't know for sure if this was coming. I mean, we had ideas. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. But Panini is not done yet. We can't stick a fork in them yet. They've decided that they're going to keep going and they're going to produce some unlicensed cards. And we're going to talk about it, but I thought it would be good for me to just explain to you. So far, they've announced 2 NBA products.
Okay.
So I just wanted to explain those NBA products, what you can expect. So they are doing basic Donruss NBA, and in the basic Donruss unlicensed NBA, what we would consider flagship product for them, there will be 3 autos. They will have downtowns, and they do have VJ Edgecombe cards, autos, jerseys, that sort of thing. But the flagship has changed from over 300 cards, or right at 300 cards, sorry, to about 96 cards and looks more like a mega box. But again, 3 autos in there. Now, we can assume that that product's going to be about $125. The other product they announced was Donruss Signature Series Basketball, which is 1 slabbed auto numbered to 49, 2 base parallels, 1 base, and 1 insert. Again, probably coming in at about $125. So those are the 2 products they've announced. And so we kind of want to get into the discussion of why are they doing this, what, this could mean for collectors, and when do we think we will know if this was a successful or good plan for them. So we'll kind of get started here, and I'll just kind of ask Bill and let him go first on some of these thoughts. But why do you think Panini is still going to try to do this, even though it's unlicensed and there's certain players that they can't even put in the product?
So we, as me and Rob are both in pretty much agreement that we thought that Panini was going to either be sold to Fanatics or at least their IPs, they were going to buy them because they're already preset IPs. Your Flawless, your National Treasures, and stuff like that. Now, the one thing to notice that is if they let their brand go stagnant and don't put anything out, okay, so now you only have one suitor. You only have one company that could one investment group that can come in and take over your company. Literally, it would have to be Fanatics. So it would have to be someone that's already in the space that is doing that altogether. Now, they are realizing that if they don't keep on manufacturing a product, that's the only option. Eventually, that's the only option, or their product will go down. That also leaves open as many people that are investors in Fanatics. We never really looked at this when we were younger. Like, we just figured tops is tops, and Donruss, Fleer, and Upper Deck, blah, blah, blah. But they're all owned by investment groups. So with all these investment groups, they're all looking to make a return. So is there a big enough group of people that want to come in and buy Panini because they think that they could help or push forward the licensed products they have, which is your NASCAR. You have a version of golf. You also have some soccer. You also have the WNBA. Now, granted, that, in my opinion, is probably only about 30% of the market share that they have currently. And, football and basketball being the majority of that. So that 70% that's left. I think that they realize that they have to, if they don't put up a fight, they're going to be left with their company not have near the value that they think they need to if they're going to sell themselves. So yeah, I believe that they, the question is, how are they going to put out these products? Who is going to be exclusive? How many people are exclusive to Fanatics that, like LeBron, who left Upper Deck to join Fanatics, if they get over into football, Tom Brady is Fanatics, so you're not going to have your goats or, your so-called goats or whatever the product. So who are they going to be able to put in these products? And that is the question so far.
Yeah. So, I think the question we are asking is why did they do this? And Bill did a good job of asking why are they still making cards? But I'm going to try to answer the question of why they had to keep making cards. And that's very simply because they didn't find a buyer. Nobody really had expressed interest in them at the price that they valued their own business at. I know many of you have looked at Shark Tank or something like that, and they'll talk about what's the valuation of your business. Well, Panini was being found kind of guilty of inflating their own numbers to begin with and really overvaluing what they had to offer. So they basically were forced into, as Bill described, to have no choice to continue to produce these cards, to have to have something of value for something else to come along and buy. But sometimes they put out some numbers maybe under false pretense, and tried to even say, at one point they were saying that maybe they were more valuable without the licensing because you just didn't have that overhead.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And so
that's smoke and mirrors right there.
I think that is too. So another question, and I'll go with Bill first on this one too, is what do you think this means for collectors? And we'll just keep it on basketball because that's all we know for sure. So on basketball, the fact that there'll be other products out there, what does that mean for the basketball card collector?
Okay, so when you are when you are buying cards, you have to evaluate what you're doing. Are you collecting? Or are you doing it as an investment? Okay, so if Topps keeps on coming out with everything is $700 a box, Midnight Basketball was 7 cards that ended up being like $1,000 a box. If Donruss comes out, if Donruss is able to put out a NASCAR product that their hobby boxes are never more than what, $100?
Yeah,
close to the Donruss hobby.
Yeah.
Why can't they put out a basketball product that's around the like we said, 125 to 150 brand price? So you're not going to get a kid, or there's very few kids that are going to talk their dad into buying a $1,000 box when there's a $125 box sitting on the shelf and it's the new basketball. Now, granted, you're not going to get Cooper Flag. You're not going to get, but basically sometimes it's the squeaky wheel gets the grease or oil or whatever, and the parent will basically just whatever they have to do to shut up the kids. So to buy them a box, that's just what it is. So I think that if Panini keeps on going at the low end, I definitely think they'll keep a market share for sure.
Yep, absolutely. And so what I think this would mean for people, what it'll mean for collectors, basketball collectors specifically, is more choice, more competition, and that's always a good thing for the hobby because it is a perfect opportunity left open by Fanatics, as Bill mentioned. When you put out products that are $900 and you've put out products that you actually in the pipeline, we know there's no product being released from Topps that's under $200-300 a piece. There's even some basketball that's not even being offered to every MVP account that is coming down the pipeline. So you've got an opportunity there to just have this come in and give people an alternative outside of just some retail. And again, Topps isn't even producing a lot of basketball retail. Many of their products are hobby only. So now you do have a very affordable product that could be offered by Donruss.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like a separate but equal. It's literally like, okay, Midnight Basketball, it's seven cards per box for $1,000. or do you buy a whole box from, now granted it'll have less cards. What was it, 96 cards for Donruss or whatever? But for $100, well, yeah, of course your parents is going to choose to buy that, especially if they don't have, they didn't have to pay the NBA for the license.
Yeah.
They have the holdovers of the autographs that they got through their NILs and through their college. Now, the question I have is there a discrepancy about how Fanatics or Panini has attained the autographs? Because as you guys know, it's 95% of stuff is all sticker autographs. Now, if they bought him off the guy as he was a freshman, and 5 years later now Con Knipple is really popular, but they still got his autographs from 5 years ago sitting in a vault. Well, what takes it from them to just put it on a card, Now, granted, they don't have Cooper Flagg, but if they got him and Vinchcombe or Edgecombe or whatever, and a couple of these other players, I mean, can they put together a set? They can put together a set. Will it be a desirable set? That is the question.
Yeah, and that is a big question, and even though it's more choice for and competition's good, and we can keep prices down, and having that alternative to buy is a great thing. Also, we kind of are going to figure out, are they going to still accept downtowns? Because the plan is clearly from Panini, they're going to produce those downtowns. They're going to produce those cards that are case hits. And I was having a discussion with somebody else, and you know what? Those cards, although we believe that market is softening, even as we speak, but that's still a big draw. It owns something in the collector's mind for the last 2 to 3 years, and now there's downtowns in this Donruss product that are coming out. The good thing for Donruss with these downtowns and those things is the emphasis isn't really on the player's jersey. Often there's a city in the background, or there's some major artwork, so these can still look decent without those logos and everything in place.
I mean, they don't have to keep Downtowns Kabooms. I mean, to be honest with you, not that many come off the market because they just get recycled back in the breaker products and stuff like that. So it's not like, that, probably every quarter, maybe another 5% come off the market and actually get to somebody that collects Mahomes and have been trying to get this thing. But a lot of those are being recycled back into the product because it's like, okay, well, I got to, the person that gets a Abdul Carter, I know one guy in particular doesn't collect Abdul Carter, wants to sell it. Okay, but I couldn't buy it to make money on it, so I didn't buy it. So he's going to put that back in the market, So it is so just to have not the city on the card, or it'll just be the city, it'll just say Chicago instead of Chicago Bulls, be honest with you, people aren't going to care.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So here's the thing: I think the Donruss releases early April, the Signature Series releases late April. Do you think we will have to wait and see at that point how this is going to be accepted, or do you think there'll be hints in the market if this is going to be accepted or not?
I think that the question is going to be what stance Panini does with the autographs, the rookie autographs that they're putting in the product. Because I don't know of any veterans that I know that they have a massive amount of autographs to put in their product. So if they have just a bunch of rookie autographs or, draft picks and all that, what's going to be the difference between a Con Knipple autograph to 25 that's not certified or one out of Topps Chrome number to 199, but it is backed, Realistically, that should be figured out within the product coming out within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like literally that product comes out, people will know if it's going to fail or succeed within a 2 week period of being released.
Yeah. And here's the other thing I think that could determine this when this is released in April, which is only a couple months. When this is released in April, how does Fanatics react to this? Because if I'm Fanatics, now it's a big company, and the ability to spend on a dime is probably not very easy for them. They're planning 2027 baseball. Like they're already starting to talk about that, think about
Yeah.
that. So it's a big company. But if I saw this happening and I saw Panini, we're going to go unlicensed, we're going to produce affordable products. If I saw that taking place, if I'm Fanatics, I drop a couple more affordable products out there and try to get them out.
I think that they definitely need to keep it in their mind that they need to keep more affordable products. I mean, we, as we've discussed, and you know, I am kind of doom and gloom sometimes on Fanatics and stuff like that, but they are, you know, they're finally getting their legs underneath them. It's like a horse, you know, like you know, if you go up to Scioto Downs, which is a local horse racing thing, you see them out there. Not on the race day. You see them every day out there getting that court. Let them get their strength in their legs. Get them moving. You know, because if you keep them moving, they're bound to keep on moving. So, you know, so they're just trying to see how far they can stretch the market. Now the problem is if they keep on putting out $1,000 products that nobody can afford, and Panini slides in there with $100 to $150 products, people are going to buy Panini products, and Fanatics is going to be like, well, what happened here?
Yeah.
You know, especially with as we've talked about with like Pac-Man blowing a fuse about people not filling his brakes and stuff like that. You know, I think that you're talking major money. And you know, do you want a case break for? Do you want to buy into a case break for, you know, $40, or do you want to buy in for $4,000?
Yeah. And I think one other thing to keep in mind is, you know, we're kind of questioning, are people going to accept this unlicensed Donruss or, you know, Panini-based product? In the big picture, they accept Wild Card. In the big picture, they accept Leaf. Now, not at the same rate that they accept Topps. And now we've got Panini, a long-running established brand license, now removing the license. I could see it still going better than your Leaf, better than your Wild Card.
Will your kids care? No, not at all. They just like the cards. They just like the cards. The only people that will care is your people that are literally major investors that were going to be like, oh, that's garbage. That might as well be Wild Card. You know, they literally are going to, I mean, there will be a percentage of the market. I mean, I don't think Fanatics thought that they were going to pivot like this, to be honest with you. I mean, they knew it could happen, but I don't think they thought that was going to happen. I think they thought that the deal was done and they would just sign over and blah, blah, blah. And they, in the long run, I don't know who's going to win, but, you know, if Fanatics doesn't have to pay an NBA license to the NBA, they can make a product like Donruss Racing and put it out for $100. Why can't they put out a Donruss basketball product and put it out around $100?
Yeah.
So,
and I think they can. So, we'll go ahead and wrap this up, guys. If you like this content or you like things like this, you can check us out. We've got probably 300 videos on YouTube now. Some of them short, some of them more full length. But definitely check us out, subscribe, and we appreciate you watching. Hope you have a